Yes. We're just gonna share half a face. Wait, put it back.
We're a fused marketer.
There we
Our
go. This is
powers
the
combined.
dream. All right. Let's see. It's about to pop out on stories. We can give people just a couple of seconds to trickle in if they want to join us. Um,
Awesome.
cool. But happy Tuesday. It's been a long weekend, and I haven't seen you in 3 days, which is very uncommon. So
Yes,
good
I
to see you.
know. Yeah, it's terrible when we don't see each other for
I
3 days.
know.
It's ridiculous. That was the craziest thing about our break at the end of the year was like, I mean, it was great to get away and have vacation and all that.
Mhm.
But it's weird being at like you in India specifically. Like when I go more than a few days without talking to you guys, I'm like, oh man, I wonder what they're doing.
Let's go temples of the week. I have so many times over the weekend. I have like really excited. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I have like I need to show Jordan thoughts, but then I'm like, he's recharging. Like I gotta let him build his patio in the back. So
The patio was an important project, Jess.
I mean, it's an absolute must. Where else are you gonna go live from if you don't
Something
have a
really weird happened though. Like I was dealing with so many different types of like gravel with that project and it like wore away my I don't know what exactly happened, but I have a bunch of like fingerprint technology in my life. Okay. So like to get into my laptop, we've got fingerprint locks in the house and like none of them work right now for me. They haven't since I did the patio project. I'm like, did the gravel like wear away my fingerprints? Is very strange.
or Men in Black, that Men in Black thing where they burn off Will Smith's fingerprints. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I kept thinking about that actually. That's funny.
Definitely go Men in Black,
Yes.
absolutely. So I think we should probably be live just about everywhere.
Oh, good.
Um, I believe, but I'm not seeing Instagram pop up just yet. So let's see what happens. We might just have to go without Instagram today. But if you are watching this on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, hello, we are Boombox, but I'm sure you know that. I'm Jess Adams. I'm your community manager. And this is Jordan. Jordan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Jordan Schneider, the head of marketing over at Boombox, and super happy to be here. This is all Jess's strategy and child for going live here and just hanging out with you guys on a daily basis or regular basis, I should say. We'll see how
Mhm.
it's going to lay it
So
out.
this specifically, weekly updates. I know
Yep.
it is Tuesday, I'm sorry, but we should be doing this on Monday, but we had a holiday yesterday. So our first Monday update is happening on a Tuesday. And we want to do this kind of mic check session. This is just for us to go over what's the most important things for you to know this week, specifically this week. And that includes content that we have coming out. We have contests going on. We have classes to be connecting you with. So, and also office hours, places that will be showing up where you can come and ask us questions about anything about the Boombox product or how to make music. But this is just a good place for us to kind of get together. One second. My
Yeah,
Slack
your
is going
stack is
crazy.
popping
Yeah.
off, dude.
We're busy at work at Boombox, so this isn't all we do all day, thankfully. So let's start with the first little order of business, the most exciting one. We have monthly contests going on, and we officially have our very first winner from December.
We
His name
do.
Ben, and he got $500 to spend on anything he wanted as far as like what he wanted for his home studio setup. He is buying an Omnisphere plugin, and we're gonna see what he makes with that. We're gonna follow up with them and go on that journey about kind of what cool stuff comes out of that. But Jordan, do you want to tell people how they can win in January?
Yeah, totally. So super easy to enter. The barrier to entry is very low. All you have to do is go follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave a comment on one of our videos just saying what you'd spend the money on if it was awarded to you. And we're doing this $500 giveaway every single month this year. It's just going to be a gift card to like Sweetwater or the equivalent in whatever part of the world that you're in. I can't remember the name of the one that
Mhm.
Fabio gave us for London, but something like that, an e-commerce store that specializes in professional audio. And one of the reasons we're doing this is because at the heart of our mission with Boombox is really to empower music creators, right? And God, I remember when I was in audio production full time, $500 could go a long way, you know, whether it's a new microphone or a new interface or a bundle of plugins or something like that. There's no end to the amount of stuff out there that you can buy and experiment with. So, yeah, we want to do that every single month for somebody in our community, and we kind of want to hang out with you, like Jess was talking about along the way. Like, what do you actually do with it? What are you making with it? Like, we can check in together. We can be friends, basically.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do. Just go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you're dreaming about buying with the $500 giveaway, and you'll be entered to win. So it's as easy as that.
Very, very cool. And we actually are getting already commenters on our live stream. The
Hey,
Glitchers is here on YouTube, and he's just
awesome.
asking us how we're doing, and we're doing great, Glitchers. Thank you for joining us here today.
Cool.
So another piece of business this week, we are launching office hours, and this is literally just a time where you can come and talk to me about anything. I have, some admin work, and I definitely want some distractions with all of that. So that is happening in the Discord every day this week at from 5 to 6. And that is Central Time. So what is that? Quick math. 6 to 7 Eastern Standard Time and 3 to 4 in your Pacific time. So if you want to go hop on our Discord, there's a lot of fun stuff happening there anyways. But today, every day this week, 5 to 6 Central Time, there is a voice channel called Office Hours. I'll be live. You can just hop in there. Literally anything about Boombox or your music journey. We can talk about anything. We can play games too if you want. So remember that. And then tomorrow, we have our weekly Wednesday big video drop tutorials. We've been going with Lucas and Fabio. They've been splitting up Lucas's music business, entrepreneurship, how to get your career to the next level. And Fabio's been dealing with a lot of production skills, how to get your music, like the actual craft of that music, to the next level. And then Boomcast at twice a month, we do a bigger kind of conversation with the both of them. But tomorrow is Fabio, and he is going to be teaching you how to level up your bass. He is specifically looking at tech bass, that genre, because they're known for epic basses. But really, any kind of music creator, any kind of genre can be learning how to kick up their base game for tomorrow's
Mhm.
video. So look out for that. And then, Jordan, we are doing something really special with Sides. She has a class on Friday. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what's going on there?
Yeah, sure. So she does, I believe she said she does a couple of these a month. But Sides is another producer, DIY producer. She's got a really cool story. If you've never heard of her, you should check her out. She's got a big TikTok handle, big Instagram handle. It's spelled Seids, Sides. Her name is Sabrina. And I got to spend a little time on a call with her actually earlier this month, and she is just
Yeah.
lovely, super intelligent. Has a cool story too of how she got into all of this. She used to be a performer on cruise ships, and then COVID happened,
Mm-hmm.
and cruises weren't a thing anymore, so she had to kind of figure out what to do. And such a cool journey for her, just figuring out all the stuff that she's been doing with social media, and lots of great lessons that she's learned there. But she's also a very expert producer and audio engineer. So if you go to her site, it's sides.co, Seids.co. There will be an option there where you can click for her live classes. She's got a schedule, and we're going to sponsor and collaborate with her on the next one, which is at noon Pacific time on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be covering Logic Pro tutorials. So just everything that she knows about Logic, You can join, you can ask questions, you can learn about whatever she has to say. And yeah, it should be really fun.
Cool. Cool. I mean, I'll be there. So
I will too.
yeah,
Yeah,
hanging out.
should be cool.
And then, you know, we started polls and questions last week, and I thought this would be a really fun roundup for us because you don't know the answers to all of these yet, right?
I haven't heard anything. No, I'm excited.
Cool, 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 cool. So we started easy with favorite album of 2022, but those have all appeared on our story. So I won't give the rundown of people's favorite albums, but it was very, very varied. What I wanted to know, though, was what was your favorite album of 2022? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Oh, me. Oh, man. That's a good question. You're going to have to let me pull up my Apple Music real quick.
Totally.
I can't keep track of like when I've added what to my library.
Or what year it came out. That's hard to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like fly, especially since the whole work from home thing started, man. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm in a constant time warp. It's ridiculous.
Do you listen to music while you work?
I do, yeah.
What
I
kind
have
of
to
music?
listen to music while I work. When I work out or if I'm doing work, I'm like a podcast guy. I love listening to podcasts or like watching YouTube videos. But while I'm working, I'll listen to music. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um,
Okay, I've got my favorite album.
Please.
Out of Sight by the Sheepdogs. I wasn't sure if that came out last year or not, but they're a rock band from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they're so good, so talented, really cool guys too.
Didn't you have a chance? Weren't they doing something at our vinyl earlier this year?
Yeah, we recorded a session with them at our vinyl on their way through Nashville. So we rented out a studio with them and recorded. I think we had 4 tracks with them, which is pretty cool. And man, I don't know about you, but I almost can't pass complete judgment on a band until I see them live, till I see them perform live.
Mm-hmm.
And watching them, especially in that our vinyl format where they've got one take and they've got to kind of nail the song in that one take. Like we rarely ever do more than one take, right, on any of those songs. Watching how tight they were and just the sound was so perfect. It sounded exactly like their album, nailing the vocals, all the harmonies, everything. It was like totally got a new level of respect for them. But that album, Out of Sight, is really fun. It's got a 70s vibe to it. It's just a really cool, easy rock and roll band.
I have to check that out. I grew up on a lot of Southern rock, and when I remember when you tossed them over to me, I was like, "Oh yeah, that itches scratches a lot of those itches for me." So I'm gonna have to give it all like a top down listen. Yeah, the live thing's interesting because I just heard Billie Eilish. It was an interview of her talking about comping vocals and literally how many takes goes into what you would probably think is one take, like a 2-bar phrase, and literally almost every syllable she's comping. So to have musicians come in there and be able to kind of knock it out in one take really is a testament to their musicianship. So
yeah,
goals for sure.
totally.
So I asked our audience.
Hold on. Are you gonna say what yours is in this?
I did. I wasn't asked. I was just asking you. But I'll.
I want to hear yours. Yeah.
So I was this year. I went real playlisty. So I was trying to figure out like what albums have I really consumed in full, which is an interesting kind of take on how we consume music. But I looked at my Spotify roundup, and sweetly enough, one of my best friends, Yannick, and his artist name is just Yannick, Jannek. He makes like neoclassical kind of like ambient music. He's a multi-instrumentalist producer in New York City. And he was my most listened to album this year, which yeah, it was really sweet. Not too word heavy when I work and things like I need instrumentals because the words will like grab me. but just a really peaceful, floaty kind of ambient album. And that was technically my favorite album in 2022. But also on the way home for Christmas, my boyfriend and I drove from Nashville to Niagara Falls, and we were listening. We like to do whole albums in those times. It's part of the fun of the road trip. And
Yeah.
Harry Styles got me with Harry's House, and I'm not a huge pop fan, but I thought it was just so, it had such like lo-fi indie vibes that it was really really enjoyable for me. So I might go
He's
with,
talented, man, for
he's
sure.
he's doing all right. He's doing all right for himself for sure. Um, okay, so question. These are some percentages for you. And as our marketing guy, I'm sure you'll love percentages.
Can't
So,
wait.
I asked, are you working on the same DAW that you started on? I was trying to get a feel for like how adventurous this crowd is, and a
Oh,
lot.
that's a great question. I love that.
What do you think the breakdown was? It
So
was
it's just
basically a
yes or no?
two. It was yeah, basically the same or different is what they could answer. They
Hmm. Same one that you started on. I don't know. 50-50 is kind of I wasn't on the, where did I start? God, it's hard to say because I started so long ago. I was on like Sonar, like I had
Mm-hmm.
to buy it on the CD-ROM and install it on
Uh-huh.
my computer.
Oh,
I don't
gee.
even think they're around anymore. So I switched to Logic in college and then stuck with that. But they're so sophisticated at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like their brands are so established that if you're in the Pro Tools camp and you start there, or in the Logic camp or Ableton and you start
Mm-hmm.
there, they're probably going to keep you there. So
Totally.
maybe it's like, let's go with 70-30 in favor of the one that I started with.
So, interesting enough, more people had switched than stayed.
Really?
Yes. 38% are on the same DAW that they started with, and 62% switched.
Wow. Okay.
So I probably, well, we have, some pretty advanced music makers in our community, and I'm thinking about like, I think technically I started on GarageBand because that's like what was available. But
For
when I got to Berkeley, really pushes you into Pro Tools. Uh, so like that was like technically my first official learning on DAW. But I wonder if a lot of the first DAWs you just grow out of them because they don't do as much as these more advanced DAWs. Like eventually you got to move to Logic.
that makes sense. So you
Yeah,
start with something maybe a little more basic, like lower
Mhm,
barrier to entry, like the like BandLab is free or like
mhm.
GarageBand is free, and then you start to get into more, I guess, complicated problems that you're trying to solve, or
Yeah,
trying to
or like
compose. You need something a little bit more heavy duty.
at some point your vision just outgrows like your tools, right? And so you
Makes
gotta
sense.
kind of update that. But I'm real curious. In a little bit of kind of looking for my next dog because I don't know if I want to reboot with Pro Tools. So I'm really curious about the Logic Sides Logic class on Friday. I'll be checking that out because it's a little more like modular, where you can kind of make collages and piecework with your samples and stuff. So
Pro
uh,
Tools is on a subscription now too, right? Aren't they on a
mhm,
monthly subscription? And then Logic is still a one-time fee, I believe.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So we've got two more. Uh, where do you work most often? I know it's varied, but you had basically, are you working from a home studio, from wherever you can open your laptop, so completely remote? Do you have a full-on professional studio somewhere? And I kind of quantified that as like as different from the place that you live, or do you work in other people's studios, like a collaborator's place? What do you think the breakdown was?
Okay, I'm just gonna give what I believe home studio will encompass. How
Okay.
about that? I think that that is gonna be. I'm gonna guess 80% of respondents say home studio.
That's pretty good. 73% said home studio.
All right, that's close enough.
That's I mean, I would consider that a win. And then the other 27% was wherever I can open my laptop, which
Yep,
makes sense. Yeah,
yep, it makes
definitely
sense.
music by Lucas style, I'll call that. Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially after the pandemic and everything. Like we're all We're all remote people. This is a remote world now, you
That's
know?
what's going on. Nobody answered full on professional studio, and
Wow.
nobody answered somebody else's place. So we're all working with remote home studios here, which is a really fun community to be building.
Okay, that's interesting. I wouldn't have expected nobody, but that might be a bias that we have because we're in Nashville.
Because of
You know what I mean?
and because of like our product, right? Like
Yep.
we're getting the remoters. So it does make sense for sure. But that remote also just like home studios. I don't think pre-pandemic everybody had a home studio.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's probably really boosted up. I'd be interested in those numbers. Is like how many musicians have a home studio now that did not in like 5 years ago.
Yeah, like that was just another one of those trends that just got accelerated to the max because of the
Mhm.
work from home thing, right? Like even if you think about professionally, a lot of companies were transitioning to remote work. Like when I was at Soundstripe, we were already talking about doing that, but we were going to do it over the next year or so. Like,
Mhm.
hey, office is optional. You can work from home most of the time. And then that just made us do it right away. So I feel like that was a trend that was happening. And then it just got exacerbated by the pandemic. Same with a home studio, right? It's like
A
all
warp
this
speed.
stuff has been affordable to build out for a while now.
Mhm.
And people have been doing it, but it probably just like you'd see that line of adoption go up like a
Mhm.
hockey stick probably during those 2 years.
All of a sudden, we've got time and energy
Mhm.
to be building this stuff, but that's super exciting. The home studio growth is that's the indie revolution right there.
Totally.
Be interested in like looking at a breakdown of how many people who are now with labels or even like small labels or indie labels, how many of them are also still working in home studios? Like how much of this is really a part of the official process of the music industry right now? Um, Beyonce just made her Renaissance album fully remote, which I listened to on the Christmas road trip. Uh,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah, it
I
was.
didn't know that.
Uh-huh, yeah. That was like a big, huge thing. It really proved to the music industry it's just that like remote isn't a second place. You can make really amazing, like next level work remotely now. Look at what Beyonce's doing. And so yeah, take a listen to that and just know all of that was done remotely.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
interesting.
know. Good. And then so to finish off, this is exciting and it actually got me spinning on maybe some ways that we could serve our community a little bit better. But I asked, when is your next release? And you had four choices. You could say within the next month, within the next 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And I was really kind of hoping that nobody said within the year because that's a red flag for me that like maybe it won't happen. It's like if you don't have a date set, that's a real scary place to be for kicking music down the road. You could kick it down the road forever that way. So encourage
Totally.
everybody to challenge yourselves to have a date, even if you don't make it to have one. But what do you think they said? What do you think the top one? Let's say that.
Yeah, what you just said is so true. I don't feel like there's a single track that I've gone to distribution with that I felt like I was done with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And for those of you who don't know me, I was on the production side, so I was in the audio engineering side. So that's not even the most creative part of the process of building a song. And I felt like it was never done. We just had to set a date and go, okay, that's the date, because otherwise we're going to work on it forever. So
Mhm.
setting the target's really important. But give me
I
the
hear
options one more time. So it's sometime this year, in the next month.
month, it's in quarters basically. In the next month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how many people I think said in the next year with no tangible date.
Okay.
um, I feel like producers and musicians, especially now, are like, I feel like the hustle is at a different level. You know what I mean? And that's just a hack to setting the date that I would expect a lot of people to have. So I'm gonna say 40%. Let's say like less than the majority. 40% said that
Like
the
a
next year.
year.
Yeah.
So a year was the lowest. Thankfully.
Oh, that's so great. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes. And 12.5% said
No way.
year. Yeah.
Wow, I'm
Mhm.
impressed, man.
I know. I know. And it actually went in that descending order. So the 6 months, 25%, 3 months, 37%, and 50% have one this month,
All
which made
right.
me think, well, we actually have people in our community who are releasing this month. I wonder how ready they feel about it. I wonder if they have content for that release. And I think we could do a pretty cool like work sprints of like, we're about to enter roundtables and be talking about music marketing and content stuff. And I think that we could probably do some roundtables on like what content you need for your release. I think that could be really helpful. So,
Yeah, how can we help? How can we help support each other too? I think
yeah.
is that would be really fun. We're very open to collaborating with anybody who's joining these live sessions or just subscribing to us on a social media platform, whatever. But if you need help spreading the word about a release that you're excited about, we would love to be a part of it. And even if it's just kind of posting you out there on Instagram and TikTok to our small following right now,
Mhm.
any help that we can provide, I think we'd be super open to. So
Totally. Small and mighty. That's
that's right.
that's what we are.
That's right. Well, we just started in November, right, with all of our marketing and everything. So it's a slow, steady growth, just like I'm sure
Yeah.
is true with everybody else in our community. So,
Oh, the indies get it for
mhm.
sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, well, that's our first mic check.
All
We did
right,
it.
that was fun.
Easy, painless, more to come. But just before we sign off, one, thanks for stopping by. I do see in the comments that a few of you did stop by, and that actually really means a lot to us. We do, again, office hours every day this week in the Discord, starting today, 5 to 6 Central. Just come hang out with me, ask me anything you want. We got Sides Logic Pro class. If you want to hook up for that, that's Friday. Pacific time at noon. If you need help getting into that class, it's free because we are sponsoring it for you. Just send us a DM. We'll make sure you get hooked up with that. And then look out for our baseline tutorial from Fabio tomorrow. I think that'll be real fun for us all too. So, um,
Absolutely. And don't forget about our $500 giveaway we're
oh
doing
yeah,
this month and every month this year. All you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment talking about how you would spend the money.
cool. Well,
That's that.
Jordan, I'll see you in about 5 minutes in another meeting.
All right. Sounds good, Jess. Bye, everybody.